Vicarious liability, sometimes referred to as imputed liability, is liability assigned to an employer or other principal for his agents' or employees' acts performed in the course of employment or other duty. All in all, it is a legal concept that makes an individual who did not actually cause the harm, but who has a specific superior legal relationship to the person who did cause the harm, responsible for the damages or harm endured. Vicarious liability most commonly comes into play when an employee has acted in a negligent manner for which the employer will be held responsible.
You suck! Are you serious right now, bro? Grandma left me, bro.
Hey guys, I'm gonna need some ice packs, some band-aids. Hey boss. Yeah, we kind of have a problem on this end.
In order for the act to be considered in the course of employment, the employer must have authorized or directed the act, or be otherwise connected with the act. However, an employer is not responsible for the actions taken by their employee which are not within the scope of their employment. A victim is required to prove that the elements of vicarious liability exist. If he fails to do so, the court may find that the employer is not liable for the damages. The primary element of vicarious liability that must be proven is the agreement that the employee entered into as a condition of employment required the employee to work under the authority of the employer. Additional elements of vicarious liability require the employer to have control over the employee, and the actions of the employee have to fall within the scope of their employment at the time of the incident. Scope of employment refers to the actions of an employee within the terms of their employment. Scope of employment varies depending on the specific requirements of the job the employee is hired to do. Certain circumstances in which a worker is not working within the scope of employment include independent contractors and illegal acts. Independent contractors are individuals performing work for someone else, though not considered legal employees but independent contractors, are not working within the scope of employment for the sake of vicarious liability. The commission of illegal acts is not within the scope of employment. Any damages caused by the act or during the commission of the act are not considered the employer's responsibility in most cases.
Do you know how much trouble me and Aaron will be in if we get sued for your negligent actions? Look at this.
Why won't I get in trouble? I'm the one that didn't stop the fight.
Because we employ you. Meaning that it was our fault for not training you properly, and your actions fall under our scope of employment for you. It's called vicarious liability.
What's vicarious liability?
Basically, it means that we are responsible for the way you act on the clock, and if you cause any damage or harm to anyone while working for us, we are liable. So, as the intramural referee, you are supposed to make sure that all players and patrons watching the game are in a safe environment, and if something happens, anything happens to them, you're supposed to take extra measures and precautions to make sure they're not hurt, such as calling campus safety if a fight gets out of hand, not egging them on to fight. You did not do either of those things, except for egg them on, opening up for an opportunity for one of the players or patrons to be injured, who could have gotten hurt and sue me and Wingate University because of your actions, and that's vicarious liability.
Oops. Well, at least I won't get in trouble.
Oh no, you're definitely fired.
Dang.
As you can see, even though the intramural referee is the one who acted in a negligent manner, it would still fall to the responsibility of the director of the McGee Center and Wingate University. It was in the scope of employment for the intramural referee to ensure the safety of the players or to have called campus safety instead of encouraging the fight. I hope this video has made it easier for you to understand what vicarious liability means. Thanks for watching.